What's up, guys? Dan from Dan's Auto Body. I'm pretty excited on this new series we're going to be doing, which is basically going to be answering your questions and your concerns as far as anything regarding the car or what you have and what you don't have in your policy.
That's the truth, truth hurts. Oh yeah. If you broke with your
Now, the first question we had, I thought was pretty cool, was what is the best insurance company to have for my car that's tuned and has all these custom parts? And that's a really good question because you want to make sure that your insurance company is aware of what you have in your car. Because if you were in a collision, you may be denied for something, that's aftermarket. So for example, the stock wheel on your vehicle is $250 to purchase OEM. Now you just bought these nice fancy wheels for $1,000 each. Well, the insurance company can come back and they could actually deny to pay that full amount and only pay for the $250, which would be the OEM wheel. So with that being said, you want to make sure when you open up your policy, there's no insurance that I would say that would be the best insurance. It's more or less what you choose for coverage. So when you open up your coverage, you tell them what you have on the vehicle, how much you spend, and what you want to have added to your policy. We've seen a lot of insurance companies say don't need to add it to your policy, which is great because now you don't have to pay additional. But make sure you have that on a written form, email, or somewhere that you can utilize it ever need be. Keep that in mind. The next question we had was if we are able to repair bent or cracked wheels. Your answer is no, you're not. We don't have the right equipment for it. Although we have a welding machine, we wouldn't weld the wheel and put a customer's safety at risk. We don't have the right tools to weld with the right material, everything that you may need to do the job properly. So anytime that you have a wheel that has curb damage and it's got surface damage, we can repair that with no problem. Now if the wheel's cracked or if it's bent, we'll usually sublet it to a company that actually is able to get the job done properly and safe, and then that comes back to us so we can then do the body work needed, refinish the wheel, and paint. So we cannot repair bent or cracked wheel.
Stop messaging me.
Alright, so the next question we have is if we pre-drill a trunk to install a aftermarket wing, custom wing, can we patch that later and can we plug that hole later? And the answer is really going to vary to what kind of surface the trunk is, whether it's aluminum, metal, or fiberglass. Very popular car that we work on is Subarus. We do a lot of Subarus. Some people they like the spoiler, some people don't. So we've had many cases where we shave the trunk and we remove the OEM spoiler. So yes, you can repair the trunk and you can weld and patch with sheet metal and then do all the body work necessary to get the smooth surface. This process, it's a very complicated because you're basically doing all the welding, and once the welding is done, you have to then do the aluminum filler before you go into regular filler. At least that's what we normally do before it goes to final body work and primer, then paint. Most colors, if they have a metallic 3-stage, which is a pearl, now we may need to blend the color into the quarter panel, so we may have a perfect color match. There's many variables to it. Budget is going to be a big factor, and then you're going to have to equation is, okay, how much would it be for just to buy a whole new trunk and painting versus just doing body work? Rental coverage. Should I add that to my policy? And if so, how much should I add to my policy? Absolutely. Not a yes, absolutely. Rental coverage nowadays is everything. If you're involved in a collision, your car is going to be at the shop. There's so much that goes through to get to the repair process, to get the approval, to get the parts in. Having rental coverage nowadays, you want to make sure it's added to your policy. One, because it's cheap. I mean, you're adding that to your policy yearly. Basically, 2 days of rental, worst case 3 days of rental will cover for your rental coverage up to 30 days. So you should always add to your policy. Driving record could be a factor. Age could be a factor. Some people they won't be eligible to get the rental if they're underage. And obviously driving record could be another factor where you could add it, but it could be a lot more. But you want to have that to your policy because otherwise your car is going to be at the shop for 3 weeks to do a big collision repair or something more extent, and you don't have rental. So now you have to figure something out, use someone else's car, and not be able to get from point A to point B. So it's worth it by all means. Absolutely add to your policy because you'll not regret it. Alright, so that's it for today. All the questions we had. Make sure if you have any questions, something you want me to answer, to inbox us, and we'll love to get that answer for you. Stay tuned.
That's the truth hurts.